Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about why your best sleeping pill might not actually be a pill, but something you already own. We're going to break down some really surprising research that offers a clear, natural prescription for better sleep.
So if you're one of those people who's just tossing and turning at night, you are definitely not alone. It's an incredibly common problem, and it seems to get even more common as we get a little older.
I mean, get this. As many as 70 million adults in the U.S. struggle with sleep. That is just a staggering number of people who are looking for a way to get a good night's rest. And when we go looking for that solution, where do most of us turn? Well, for a lot of people, the first stop seems to be the easiest one, heading to the pharmacy for some kind of over-the-counter supplement. You've seen them, right? The shelves are packed with them. Things like melatonin, magnesium, valerian root. They're often the first thing we grab, hoping it'll help us catch a few more Z's.
But hold on. Before you reach for that bottle, there is something absolutely critical you need to know. It's a blind spot that a lot of us have.
And this quote from AARP really just hits the nail on the head. We have this idea that because something is natural, it must be harmless, right? Well, that can be a really dangerous assumption. And here's why. It all comes down to oversight. See, prescription drugs, they're heavily regulated by the FDA. They're tested for safety and effectiveness. The doses are standardized. But dietary supplements? They're kind of in the Wild West. The FDA doesn't regulate them in the same way, which means the dose on the label might not be what's actually in the pill. And that can cause some big problems. And this isn't a small thing. This lack of regulation can have some really serious consequences. You take a popular supplement like St. John's wort. Sounds harmless, right? But it can dangerously interfere with life-saving medications for things like heart conditions, or even make some cancer treatments less effective.
So that begs the question, if supplements are this risky, what's a better, safer way to get some sleep? Well, a huge scientific review points to a really powerful answer that doesn't involve a pill at all.
It turns out one of the most effective sleep aids might already be in your closet. So let's dive into the science that shows how exercise can literally be your medicine for sleep.
To get a clear answer, researchers did this massive analysis, pulling together the results from 62 different high-quality clinical trials.
And those trials included data from over 5,000 older adults, all of whom were struggling with their sleep. So by combining all of this data, they were able to go way beyond just saying, oh yeah, exercise is good. They were actually able to pinpoint a specific, evidence-based prescription for better sleep.
And this is the real game changer from the whole study. It's not just about moving more. It's about getting the right kind of movement in the right amount. It's about a specific dose. So what did they find? The single most effective approach, the one that worked the best, was a combination of aerobic exercise, like brisk walking or cycling, and resistance training, lifting weights or using bands. Now, to measure that dose, scientists use this term MET minutes per week. It sounds really technical, I know, but don't get hung up on the name. Think of it this way. It's simply a way to measure the total amount of exercise you're getting. It's like the milligrams on your exercise prescription. And here it is, the magic number. The study found that 990 MET minutes per week was the optimal dose for seriously improving sleep quality. So what does that actually look like for your week? It sounds like a lot, but it's probably way more achievable than you think. You could hit that target with just 3 42-minute sessions a week. Or if you'd rather, you could break it up into 5 shorter sessions, around 30 to 45 minutes each. Totally doable.
And here's the best part. This isn't some solution that takes forever. The study showed that people can start feeling a real, clinically meaningful difference in just 5 weeks. And those benefits? They hit their peak around the 15-week mark.
Okay, so let's put this all together. Let's build a simple, clear action plan that you can start thinking about today.
It really comes down to these 3 steps. First, reconsider taking supplements and have an honest conversation with your doctor about the risks. Second, know your target. Aim for that optimal exercise prescription. And third, and this is so important, always talk to your doctor before starting a new exercise routine to make sure it's safe and right for you.
So the next time you're thinking about what might help you sleep better, this research gives us a really compelling idea to consider. Could your best sleeping pill be a pair of sneakers? It seems like the safest, most effective solution might not be in your medicine cabinet after all, but waiting right there in your closet.